So welcome back to another very special episode of Versus DecoyNoise, where we got me, we got Decaf, we got another episode of Am I the Antagonist in Am I the Antagonist for keeping a lost pet until the owner paid the advertised reward. So like I said, this is an episode of Versus where we're going to kind of go back and forth as to who's the antagonist. We got me, we got Decaf. If you haven't, please subscribe down below and turn the notifications on. I'm hearing from a lot of different people that you can be subscribed to me and you'll never know I upload a video unless the notification's on. Let me remind you, twice a day at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time to just relax, watch me argue with my friend online over strangers as to who's an antagonist. But let's go ahead and get to the story right now because this one's going to be interesting as it is. So OP writes, this weekend I was walking through the park and I saw a cat that looked like the one I'd seen on posters that were posted around the neighborhood. They said there was a reward of $500 for finding their lost cat, so I caught the cat, which was pretty easy since he was friendly, and I checked the poster to see if it was him, and it was. I went home, put him on the back porch, and called the number on the poster to let them know I found their cat. They were happy to know that I found him and said they would come pick him up right away. I confirmed that there was a $500 reward, texted the guy a picture of the cat, and I gave him my address. This is where the problem started. When he got to my house, I asked for the reward money before returning the cat. He said that there was never actually a reward money and that he only advertised one to increase the chance that people would actually look for his cat. I told him that I wasn't going to give him his cat back until he paid the promised reward and that he shouldn't have posted one if he didn't want to pay one. He then got angry and threatened to call the cops if I didn't want to give him the cat. I said that he was welcome to do that and I would be happy to get his things on the record in case I had to take him to small claims court. He begrudgingly told me that he would be back later with the money. Later that night, he came back with the full $500. I gave him his cat, and that was the end of it. When I told my girlfriend about it, she thought I should have just gave him back the cat since it cost me nothing to catch him, and that everyone was having a hard time right now. Some of my friends also think the guy was probably desperate to get his pet back, and that it was kind of crappy for me to profit off a lost animal. I still think that if you post a reward, you should pay for it, and the guy probably wanted to save the $500 and get the benefit of advertising reward without actually paying for it. So, am I the antagonist? So like what we normally do, I'm going to give you my knee-jerk reaction. We're going to take it to Decoy Court. We'll give them the Decoy Defense afterwards, but I mean, just my knee-jerk reaction on this is, let's just pretend this wasn't the cat. This was like an electric scooter for $500. Like, hey, if you can find this electric scooter, I'll buy it. And if he shows up without the money, you'd send him away. Like, that'd be no questions asked. And they say, hey, it's a living thing. But to me, that's just double bad. Like, I wanted to benefit from the most caring and diligent minds looking for my animal, but I don't really care that much about him. Like, I think that if I was a cat and this was like a ransom, and then my dad shows up like, hey, I'm here to collect Decoy, but how lenient are you about the price? Like, I'd feel pissed off or whatever. And the idea that the girlfriend was saying over here, hey, it didn't cost you anything. It's like, time is value, and like the more experienced and skilled you become, the more valuable your time is. And I feel like a lot of my listeners are a little bit younger, so I just want to like let you guys know that at some point in time in life, you become to start to calculate everything it takes you for your hourly rate. Like if I'm going to return a $20 t-shirt to the store, but if I think about like, hey, it's going to take me an hour to get to the mall, get in there, get out, and my hourly rate is $50 right now, I'm just going to just give the shirt to somebody or donate it. Like it's just not worth my time to go down to do it. So from OP, reading the sign, identifying the cat, catching the cat, reaching out to the owner, sending images, keeping a window of time for him to come to collect the cat, plus like the implied risk of getting a cat scratch, a cat bite, those things are bad. Having a place to store the cat for the time being, and just waiting for the guy to come over, it's like $500 is kind of a break even in my mind. So I'm gonna go ahead and say, not the antagonist. Like the sad part where you have the situation where it's like no good deed goes unpunished. We somehow went from, hey, I did a good deed by rescuing this guy's cat to my girlfriend thinks I'm a bad person. Like, how do you make that jump? I don't get it. But I mean, like I always say, that's the Decoy answer. The Decoy Court answer. We're going to take it to the Decaf Defense, where Decaf's going to defend the reason why you should get everything for free, because he is... I just set you up in the worst light. But what's your knee-jerk reaction? What do you think?
Oh, man, it's so rough.
No. Just say what your knee-jerk... You can agree with me, but I mean... You're like, well, what color was the cat? Because that definitely has a change on how I feel about the cat. Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Because a black cat, you can't return him.
Okay. You know what? Somebody in my comment section told me that, like, giving up, like, Cheddar's an orange cat, he's easy to give up. But if you have a black cat, since they don't photograph well online, and also since, like, they don't adopt them during certain times of the year because they're afraid that people are going to, like, sacrifice them for Halloween or something, like, it's hard to get rid of a black cat. I had no idea. But okay, we got so derailed there. So okay, you think that he needed to pay the rate, or like was it just a thing where it's like, yeah, you know, it's a cat, he's a living thing, just give him back to the owner. Especially with the time being right now, you don't know if the guy's out of work. Like the guy those are his Trump bucks. That's his stimulus money. Like what is he gonna do with like the $500? You know, he has other things that he needs to buy.
I think it was bad. I want to say, unfortunately, that I don't think he's the antagonist. But I'll say this:
not the antagonist.
The guy who made the poster, should have put a way cheaper ransom, or ransom's the wrong word, I guess. Reward.
But that's what it became. At one point in time, it was a reward, but then he used it as a ransom.
Started as a reward, went to a ransom. Yeah, it got elevated. Yeah, I think it should have bit smaller. Like, dude, I'll give you $20, like something, because you're right about the time and stuff like that. And I've actually like rescued, so it was quote unquote rescued a cat I saw on the street, and I got scratched and bit, and I'm allergic to cats to top it off. So I'm like, oh god, this is not good.
That's when you became Catman, because like the
I became Catman, yeah.
But
now I always land on my feet.
So here's my my personal story on the situation, which is, this is all my personal story, but just the idea is, a long time ago I found this dog. He was in the middle of like the intersection just hanging out. So I called the number on the collar because he was a nice dog. He looked dehydrated, he was old. The name was CYLLO. So I called the number. I'm like, hey, do you have a corgi named Silo? And he was like, no. And I'm like, well, I have this brown corgi on these cross streets. I'm here with your dog. I called the number. He's like, that's not my dog. I'm like, okay, cool. Hang up. Maybe 20 minutes later, the guy calls me back in panic. Like, hey, wait, did you see my dog Silo? And I was like, what? I mean, whatever, maybe. And he was like, so where is it? I'm like, I don't know. I left it by the street corner. I just figured it wasn't your dog. And he's like, but that's my dog. And I'm like, wait, so you had a brown corgi that had a name that was kind of spelled like Silo, and you thought to think like, no, this is too much of a coincidence. You just randomly dialed these numbers thinking this is my dog. I was like, you idiot. Like, at that point in time, the dog was probably better off with me anyway. But no, I hope he found his dog. But people, I guess the moral of the story is, people losing animals, what's up with them, man? Like, okay, so me and
seriously, I mean, put a leash on that thing.
Both are saying, not the antagonist, but like always, earn yourself that Decoy coin by pausing the video, taking a short break, and letting me know what you think down below before we kind of go back and forth as to, in the top comments, controversial comments, to see if you can kind of sway what we're thinking. But the top controversial comment says, what the F? How morally bankrupt do you have to be to hold another person's pet hostage until you give them money, or until they give you money, just because you happen to be the one that found a friendly cat walking by on the street? You're like the definition of lawful evil. This is the most reluctant everyone sucks here I've ever given, because a cat owner was absolutely in the wrong for advertising a reward they didn't intend to pay. What they did was crappy. Thankfully, you found an effed up way to outdo them. I like that, how he's so angry on the idea. It's like, hey, you know, it's like, I would love to be like, hey, to whoever this actually, no brigading, no torch and pitchforks, but I want to get this guy, whatever he does. Let's say he's like a contractor, to say, hey, look, my grandma, she needs a access bridge to her house. So can you come over, spend the 6 hours it takes to build her the bridge to the concrete so she can enter her house? And after this guy does it, I say, hey, look, man, like, I never was gonna pay that $500 for you to do this bridge. Like, I wanted only the best and the brightest of the bridge. He's like, what the heck? You mean to say that I did this? I'm like, hey, how morally bankrupt do you have to be to say that you want to hold my grandma's ability to get to her house behind your money? What's your problem right there? I feel like a lot of these people chiming in on these things haven't been in that situation before, but I mean, who knows? But I guess, okay. So a reply, huh? Oh, no, so a reply to that poll,
I just...
You're just disappointed. You're not upset. You're just disappointed at the situation.
No, I look, I like the comment. I just think it's funny that he took that such a harsh, like, I wish I could be that harshly adamant about it as well, because I'm like, oh, I'm an animal lover too, like, how dare you hold my dog hostage or whatever. But you messed up by putting that ridiculous price on there. Cough up the cash, playboy. You shouldn't have said no names.
See, and the only way OP could have been a bad guy, if there was no reward posted and he saw the guy pull up in like a freaking Maserati, and he was like, whoa.
Yes.
All right, the price just went up by $500 for every day for every hour you don't pick up this cat. The price goes up $100, and I break. Cats don't have kneeccaps. What do they have?
They take a claw each time.
We trim one of the claws or whatever. That's what it comes down to. So I mean, but okay, let's see what the reply to that post was, because they may be just as passionate. So the next person writes, I want to make my own post here, but I have nothing to say that you haven't already said with pinpoint accuracy. Bravo to you. To the OP, reluctance as F, everyone sucks here is a correct judgment here. The cat owner is your buddy who's always hitting you up for $5 and promising you back with no intention of ever doing so. You, however, appear to have been born with a giant sucking black hole where your compassion should be. The rules of the sub forgive me from adequately expressing my opinion of you and your behavior, so let's just leave it there. Wow, another very passionate person that hates OP saying, hey, look, if it wasn't illegal, I'd beat your face in right now. Like, that's what he's saying here, and it's like, wait.
Jeez.
Because he wants to be compensated.
Hey, the cat's alive.
The cat's alive. He didn't hurt the cat.
The cat got rescued.
Without OP, the cat probably could have got hit by a car in the next 2 minutes as across the street. He saved a life, and yet he's getting threats online. Like, oh my God, how dare you? And I bet you a lot of people will read this, because I do enjoy when the Decoy Court posts things down below that don't agree with us. But I feel like, oh, Decoy and Decaf are just capitalist pigs, and how dare they, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, cool. I'm okay with that as long as we can have a discussion that's not like, Decoy, if it wasn't against the rules, I'd be at your house right now beating you with a golf club. Like, let's be productive about it. I feel like DecoyNoise, the comment section has been
insurance.
Huh?
I said I've got health insurance.
No, jeez. But it's one of those things like it's we're the last place where you can actually have a conversation that's productive if we don't agree with something. Keep it that way. Don't become like the other pockets of the internet where it's like, hey, you don't agree with me? I'm going to create a Facebook hate group about you, and you'll make one about me, and we'll just always be arguing. Like, that's not productive. But let's go ahead and read the next top reply. So it says, everyone sucks here. He's an antagonist for lying about the reward. You're a much bigger antagonist here without a shadow of a doubt. You literally hold the poor cat hostage from the owner in order to get $500. How disgustingly misguided in your moral compass. Way to try to make money off someone's misfortune. Next time, give him the cat. Tell him he's a jerk for lying. End of story. Thanks for the silver. So, here's the thing. It's like, he's saying, way to try to make money off someone's misfortune. It's like, no, way to try to make money the way I was promised to make money. If he saw the cat and was like, oh wait, there's no reward, let's just kick this cat to the curb. Like, I don't care about him. But he didn't do that. He just said, hey, look, the poster said there was a reward, so cool. I'm like, the money's already spent. I already went out and bought the Jordans on footlocker.com. I need that money right now. Like, whatever the case may be.
If I'm hired if I'm hired to collect rent from somebody,
yes,
and I know that person doesn't have the money, am I the bad guy for trying to collect the rent? Like, oh, way to profit off of someone's misfortune because I'm getting paid to collect this rent from you. No, be mad at your landlord for hiring, he's the one who's inflicting this bill on you. In this case, the person who's inflicting this bill is himself, or the guy, the cat owner. The cat owner put the bill on himself. Don't be mad that I'm coming to collect. You're the one who doing it to yourself. You shot yourself in the foot, buddy. Shouldn't have said 500. Should have said 20 or a Snickers. I mean, come on, it's a cat. Jeez.
The thing is, I feel like Am I the Antagonist gets a lot into the funnel of, we don't judge who's the antagonist, who's right and wrong. We just judge a victimhood. Like, if you took the story and reversed it, everybody would be on the other person's end because they're like, wait, he's the one that got hurt? Okay, we're on his side. There's no sense of right and wrong with them. It's just like, well, he was injured. Like, even though he did you wrong, I side with him or whatever. So, I mean, top comments.
He did himself wrong.
Huh?
He did himself wrong.
Yeah, he did himself wrong.
Played himself.
He played himself. If he didn't want to pay the $500, he shouldn't have advertised it. It's on you right there. But like I said, the top comments are for perspective and also saying how wrong me and Decaf are right now. But let's go ahead and read those top controversial comments because maybe somebody that's an antagonist will agree with us. So the top controversial comment also hates us, saying, you're the antagonist. Losing a pet is traumatic. The guy was just desperate to get him back and you held his cat hostage. Way to make money off of another person's misfortune. So the one thing I'll say is, okay, so he was desperate to get his cat back and you holding his cat hostage situation, but I just think that he's desperate to get his cat back, so that justifies him lying. That justifies him for breaking the rules and making you go through all this trouble. Like, hey man, he's the victim, so it's okay. He can lie. That's fine. He can waste your time. Like, no, dude. Like, if you want the benefit of what my services I can provide for you, then you have to pay for it. I'm not just like, if the poster didn't say $500, he'd have what? Who's really going to go out there searching for his cat? Nobody. So it's not like, it's the ultimate sense of entitlement. I'm the victim, so you need to help me or whatever. I don't know. And then a reply to that top controversial comment is, desperate people do desperate things. If my pet went missing, I'd lose my mind. I wonder if OP would have picked up the cat if there was not a reward attached. Also, I can't imagine taking the reward even if it was offered. I just can't. This is someone's pet. I assume most people wouldn't take the reward. Maybe he thought the same thing. I can see it from all posts here. My assumptions are still super wrong. Still, I wouldn't. You're the antagonist for holding another man's pet hostage. So they're just saying, I could never imagine that I would ever take the money because I'm such a good person. Hey, everybody's getting pats on the back in this post. Everybody get in here. We can get silver. We can get gold, upvotes, everything. It's all going so fast right now. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what?
Well, let me ask you this, though.
Yes.
Would you take $500 for someone, like, especially if that person didn't, like, if he rolled up in a Rolls Royce, then, like, sure. But I'm saying, like, if he just regular dude and $500 reward and he came and he offered you, like, just was like, here's the 500, you know, like, whatever. Would you feel comfortable taking that 500?
Depending on what I had to go through for the animal. So if it was like this situation and I'm financially comfortable and I just picked up the cat and I was like, hey, cool, Cheddar, I'm hang out with this other cat. This guy comes to pick it up and he wasn't an antagonist about it. He came with cash in hand and said, oh my God, thank you for getting my cat. I'd be like, okay, here you go, man. No, keep it, spend it on cat toys or like another gate to keep him in there. We're fine or whatever. But if it was a situation where there's a cat in a tree and I sank like an hour trying to get it and then all of a sudden I'm an hour in, I'm like, oh God, like, I can't give up now, so it took me another 3 hours and buying a ladder from Home Depot to get it. Yes, I'm going to demand that money because it took me the time. Now, if
I missed a day off work, you know, I hurt myself, I twisted my ankle trying to get this dang on cat.
And that's the thing, and if all that happened, then I'd demand the money, as well as if the whole same situation, I picked it up, Cheddar and the cat are having a good time, the guy was all like, yeah, I don't got the money, you just give me the cat. I'd be like, yeah, no, you're not doing that. Like, no, there's no possible way that you can be an antagonist to me and accept me just to bend over backwards for you because you socially engineered and emotionally manipulated me into doing your bidding. Like, that's not how it works, man. Like, I will take care of the cat and raise it myself, and I'll put him through college. He will live his best life because you wouldn't pay the $500 or whatever. But I mean.
And I'm changing the cat's name. What's the cat's name? His name is Davis. His name is Mittens now.
His name is yeah. He's gonna have a very what is it? Mayor McCheese is his name now. He's upgraded in life. So okay,
I hate that name. Too bad.
$500 gets you the name back. For every hour you don't give me back, I give your cat a more ridiculous name. Your cat's name is gonna have that Elon Musk cat name now. His kid's name, the AMXYAE. I don't even know what it was, but I'm gonna give your cat a ridiculous
slope-intercept form.
Okay, so one last controversial comment says, you're the antagonist. You had a legal right to do what you did, but especially knowing everyone's having a hard time financially right now, you're the antagonist. And that's one thing I hate when everybody's projecting things. You're having a hard time financially. There are plenty of people that are not having a hard time financially. Like the guy that I know that owns a Starbucks franchise. His Starbucks is one of the only Starbucks that are in business right now. He is raking in the dough. Now, I'm not saying, hey, let's celebrate his good fortune when everybody else is struggling, but just the idea that he's like, hey, you had a legal right to do it, but you know he's struggling financially right now. You're just projecting that. That guy could have rolled up in 7 Rolls Royces, towing his 7 Sea-Doos and his jet ski and his like freaking cage tiger, and you don't know. Like, you just don't know. You're just saying that he's having a hard time. So it's like, yeah, me judging people giving their uneducated opinion while I give my uneducated opinion is what's happening right now. So any closing thoughts before we say Decoy coins, anything else from that Decaf Defense, like.
Dude, if the guy who posted the reward, if he was on this thing, oh my gosh, he would have got ripped to shreds, in my opinion. I would rip him to shreds and be like, hey, am I the antagonist for saying, hey, $500 reward, and then coming and saying, sorry, I don't have $500 and still taking my cat? Like, they'll be like, dude, you're a piece of crap for saying $500. Why would you do that? Like, oh, well, he was desperate. No, dude, he ain't desperate. That's called pulling the wool over someone's head. That's jacked up. That's what you did. You should have said $20 or $100. You're a jerk. That guy's a jerk, and he's a bad cat owner. Learn to keep your cats in the house if you can't have them out.
Yeah.
All right.
It's 3 a.m. Do you know where your cat is?
It's my final thing.
That's your final thing.
That's a good one.
But that's the thing, is like, I feel like it's just it's a weird thing where, like, they have this new generation of Karens, and everybody, like, laughs at them, but we all kind of become Karens at some level. Like, I admit I'll even do it too, where it's like a Karen that just the base root of what a Karen is just someone that wants to punish somebody else for doing something wrong. No matter what it is, no matter how small and insignificant, I need you to be wrong. I need to be right. I will go to any extent to make sure that you find consequences for your actions when, more or less, we need to see it or not, whatever. People make mistakes. So I feel like this is the ultimate Karenism when we just want to pile on and make sure people get punished. But like anything else I say doesn't mean anything at all. I just want to thank you for watching this video. Let me know down below if you like having Decaf on the channel. It hurts my computer to no extent. It's like emitting a 200-degree heat right now. But if anything else, subscribe down below, turn those notifications on. Go head over to DecoyNoise.com and check out some videos about everything else that's going on. If nothing else, just put this on autoplay and watch the next Decoy Noise coming up next.